lonely. It's very hard to start speaking because it's very hard to break the silence. Because it is so quiet. Listen. Thank goodness there's a decent road. In the 1920s and 30s, when Joseph Rock travelled in this part of the world, there were only dirt tracks and footpaths. But that didn't stop him. He did it in style with a caravan half a mile long of horses, guides, cooks and bodyguards to protect him from the many brigands along the way. And amazingly, he always carried a silver service dining set and a bathtub. Rock lived in the village of Yuhu, which is home to the Nashi people, who are farmers. Life here goes on much the same as in Rock's day. The villagers here have spent the last 60 years looking after his home, which is now a museum. Rock was an Austrian botanist who travelled all over this part of the world, collecting plants and taking photographs which were published in National Geographic magazine. And it was these that inspired Hilton. It's amazing that Rock's journeys across China and into Tibet have had such a long-lasting legacy, and that his adventures have led to my own trip here. He's still remembered fondly by the villagers. Li Sang-su, now 83, was a boy when Rock lived here. I've read a lot about Joseph Rock. Can you remember him?
He was saying that when Joseph Rock was here, he used to take the village children out into the fields and look for flowers.
Really?
And the most beautiful one he would collect, pick, and put into the book.
And put them, press them flat, save them.
He was saying Joseph Rock really loved this place and he never wanted to leave it. But no choice, he has to go back.
Oh. Rock was eventually forced to leave Yuhu and China in 1949 when the new communist government took control of the country. He never returned. He died in Hawaii in 1962, always wanting to come back. How sad to think of him never being able to return to what must have been his paradise on earth. My next stop is a place Joseph Rock loved and visited many times. It's also a place I am fascinated by. It's 3,500 meters up in the Himalayas and is home to the Musu, a matriarchal people. The women here are in charge. They make the rules and own all the property. Musu men and women don't officially marry. Instead, they choose a partner and have children, but they don't live together in the same house. It's called a walking marriage. Their children aren't usually brought up by their fathers, but by their mother's family. All property is handed down from mother to daughter. Their sons don't inherit anything. The Musu live around the stunning Lugu Lake. Pama Lanson has lived here all her life and is keen to show me around. The first thing Pama does is take me on a kora. It's a walk she makes 2 or 3 times a day with her friends, come rain or shine, to pray. She's burning incense and an offering of pine needles in this traditional Buddhist stupa, a sacred place for making offerings. She's given me a prayer wheel to spin. With every turn of the wheel, a prayer for peace is sent out across the world. They're the calmest women I've ever met in my life, and their warmth. And they can do this for, well, the longer the better, apparently. So they will walk around there for hours and offer up their prayers. I think where you live here is paradise. Do you think it is?
经常在这里的感觉中。
She said we've been here for all our life, but sometimes we don't see us a paradise. But most important is all the family together. That's the most important, having family all
together. You are
together.
The family.
Especially
the
with
family,
mother.
I brought some photographs of my family. This is me as a baby. And this is my boy, my baby. Innocent there. He is also a photographer. My son's going to marry this girl. I have an adopted daughter, and they're going to get married. They're getting married in 2 weeks. Yeah. So I need a new hat. And how many children did you have?
5个。
5. You're one of the 5.
姑娘一个才是。
4 sons and 1 daughter.
Ah, and you're the head of the family. I'm the head of my family. I have no husband. All my life I've worked very hard and brought up the kids on my own and worked, and now I want to find peace for myself. I feel in a way I can relate to these wonderfully strong women. Bye-bye. Because I was a single parent and had to raise my son Joel alone. And then a few years later, I took on joint responsibility for my goddaughter Gemma when her parents died. And even though at times it was tough, I wouldn't have changed it for the world. As like these Musu women, family has always been very important to me. Pama and her granddaughters want to show me a very special place for them and the villagers. It's a sacred island with a small monastery on it. Halfway across the lake, Pama's granddaughters start to sing a traditional fishing song to bring us luck on this journey, which is very reassuring. It's just what I need to hear in the middle of a huge lake in a very small boat. I love their singing. These songs would have helped the local fishermen to get a good catch and bring them home safely again. Fingers crossed they carry on until we reach dry land too. This is probably one of the most enchanting places I have ever been to. I can see why it's so special to the people here. I have had the most amazing day. Really, I don't think I've felt so calm. Well, I can't remember when I felt so calm. Perhaps I've got altitude sickness. I want to laugh all the time. It's really nice. I just feel so good. I first began to feel it when I started walking round and round with those beautiful grandmas. And I felt a bit stupid at first, rather embarrassed, but then you sort of I got into the rhythm of them chanting and the smell from the fire and the beauty of the view as you went round. And it sort of does make you quite reflective and contemplative, and I sort of felt so happy since then.